If you are planning to retire in the house you own, the one that tripled in value, the one you might finally pay off, you were probably told you are sitting on a gold mine. And on paper, you might be. The median homeowner over 65 now holds about $250,000 in equity. Americans 62 and older collectively own a record $14.39 trillion in housing wealth. That sounds like security. But here is the question almost nobody asks. Can you buy groceries with your Zestimate? Because in retirement, what you need is not paper wealth on a balance sheet. You need cash flow. And for millions of homeowners entering their golden years, the house is not the engine funding retirement. It is the vacuum, quietly pulling cash out of a portfolio that was never large enough to begin with. In the next 10 minutes, we are not going to tell you to panic sell your home, avoid homeownership, or treat real estate like a scam. Homeownership has real benefits: stability, community, legacy. But we are going to separate two ideas that get dangerously blurred: building wealth through a house and funding retirement from one. We will walk through the equity illusion, the hidden carrying costs that survive a paid-off mortgage, and why the 4% rule and a rising property tax bill can collide in ways your net worth statement never shows. Educational content only, not financial advice. Think of this as the conversation a fee-only planner has when the client says, "At least I have the house." For 40 years, the American retirement story had a simple chapter: buy a house, pay it down, retire in place, and live off your pension, Social Security, and maybe a modest portfolio. The house was the finish line, proof you made it. That story was written for a different economy. Today, more retirees carry mortgage debt into their 70s than at any time in modern history. Property taxes and insurance are rising faster than general inflation. And the homes many boomers own, built in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, are entering the most expensive phase of their life cycle. Roofs, HVAC systems, plumbing, accessibility retrofits. None of that shows up when your county assessor mails you a higher valuation and your neighbor says, "You must be rich." You are not necessarily rich. You may simply be asset-heavy and cash-light in a housing market that rewards paper gains and punishes fixed incomes. Let us define the illusion. Home equity is the market value of your home minus what you owe. It is real wealth in an accounting sense. It is also illiquid, concentrated, and expensive to access. You cannot swipe equity at the grocery store. To convert it to cash, you generally sell, with transaction costs and emotional friction, borrow against it, with fees, interest, and complexity. Or use products like reverse mortgages that deserve careful, individualized analysis. Meanwhile, look at liquid retirement savings. Among working Americans with any defined contribution balance, the median is about $40,000. For workers 55 to 64, median retirement savings sit near $30,000, while median home equity in that same age band is about $130,000. The house looks like the bigger number. It is. But only one of those numbers pays the electric bill this month without a major life decision attached. Here is the reframe most retirement calculators skip. A rental property that spits out monthly income is an investment. Your primary residence for most retirees is a consumption asset. It does not generate cash. It consumes it, every month, whether you have a mortgage or not. Utilities, insurance, maintenance, property taxes, HOA fees if applicable. Lawn care you no longer want to do yourself. The occasional appliance that dies the week your daughter visits. Financial planners sometimes describe a home as a place you live, not a place that pays you. That is not an insult to homeownership. It is a cash flow classification. And classification matters when you stop earning a paycheck and start living off withdrawals. Your house can appreciate beautifully on paper while quietly absorbing 5, 10, even 15% of your annual retirement income just to keep the doors open. Now the numbers that surprise even careful planners. Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies reports that between 2019 and 2025, average property taxes rose 31% nationwide. Average monthly homeowners insurance premiums jumped 72% to about $201 a month higher in disaster-prone states. That is not the mortgage. That is the bill for staying. Financial planners often budget 1 to 4% of home value per year for maintenance, and aging homes trend toward the high end. A $400,000 home might need $8,000 to $16,000 annually just for upkeep. Add taxes, insurance, and utilities, and a paid-off home can easily cost $18,000 to $20,000 a year before groceries, Medicare premiums, or a single vacation. $20,000 is not a rounding error on a fixed Social Security check. It is a second household budget hiding inside the first. There is another myth. Once the mortgage is gone, you are safe. The data says otherwise. Almost 1 in 3 homeowners age 75 and older still carries a mortgage, roughly triple the rate in 1998. Median mortgage debt for that group is about $107,000. Many borrowed against rising equity for renovations, medical bills, or helping adult children, reasonable decisions with long-tail costs. Meanwhile, the physical house ages with you. The roof that lasted 30 years does not care that you retired. The sewer line does not read your birth certificate. And if you are house-rich with most of your net worth in drywall and lumber, a single 6-figure repair can force choices you thought you had eliminated by paying off the bank. This is the aging cliff, not a market crash, but a maintenance and debt cliff arriving exactly when earned income disappears. So why not sell? Downsizing is the standard advice. Trade square footage for liquidity. Sometimes it works beautifully. But in 2026, many retirees discover golden handcuffs. You sell high and buy higher per square foot in the only market you want. Transaction costs, agent commissions, closing costs, moving, minor renovations on the new place can erase years of appreciation. Property tax resets can surprise you, and the emotional cost of leaving a community is real, even if spreadsheets ignore it. Harvard researchers note that cost burdens among homeowners 65 and older rose to about 28%, meaning more than a quarter spend over 30% of income on housing. Downsizing is a strategy, not a magic button. It requires running the all-in numbers, not just the Zestimate delta. Now connect the house to portfolio math. The popular 4% rule suggests you can withdraw roughly 4% of your portfolio in year 1 of retirement, adjusted for inflation after that. That rule assumes your spending is flexible and your portfolio is diversified. It does not assume a fixed $18,000 housing bill rising faster than inflation. Imagine $1 million net worth, impressive on paper, with $700,000 in home equity and $300,000 in investable assets. 4% of $300,000 is $12,000 a year from the portfolio. Your house might cost $18,000 to $20,000 to carry. You are not living on 4%. You are living on 4% minus the house. Or you are dipping deeper into principal, selling assets in down markets, or deferring healthcare and maintenance until both become emergencies. That is the withdrawal vacuum. Net worth looks fine. Cash flow tells the truth. So what do you actually do? 5 honest moves, no product pitches. First, build a carrying cost budget for your specific home, not a national average. Line item taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance at 2% of value if your home is aging, and one-time reserves for roof and HVAC. Second, maintain a liquidity bucket, cash or short-term bonds outside the house, sized to cover at least 2 years of housing costs without selling in a downturn. Third, right-size early if you plan to move. Doing it at 75 under duress is expensive. Fourth, if you need home equity, compare borrowing versus selling with a fiduciary advisor. Reverse mortgages, HELOCs, and outright sales Each have trade-offs too large for a YouTube summary. Fifth, and this is the mindset shift. Stop confusing net worth with retirement income. Your balance sheet is a map. Your monthly cash flow is the terrain you actually walk. Plan for the terrain. Your house can be a wonderful place to live and still be a demanding line item in retirement. Both things are true. The trap is not owning a home. The trap is treating paper equity like a paycheck and discovering too late that the golden years have a housing bill attached. If this reframed how you think about retirement math, subscribe to Money Made Simple. We publish plain English explainers every Tuesday and Friday. And if you want the companion piece on why diversification failed when you needed it most, watch our video on the 60-40 myth next. Stay curious. Plan for cash flow, not just net worth.